And good morning, everyone. Welcome back to St. George, Utah, as we are going to experience the second day of Desert Challenge Volleyball here with the host school Desert Hills High School facing off against Faith Lutheran, a Lutheran school out of Las Vegas, Nevada. I'm alongside Phil Spencer for the second day in a row. We'll be back this afternoon at about 1:30 for the final game of the day. Let's take a quick look at who we'll be talking about. The coach for the Faith Lutheran squad, Amy Fisher, in her 37th year. We'll be talking about number 1 Ellie Ford, a libero, also Mele Maga, the setter, Tori Castro, the outside hitter, a junior, Abigail Keys, a junior middle hitter, number 10, Abigail Bunyan. Keep an eye on this gal. She is a freshman, and she is loaded with potential and already showing that potential in this tournament, as was evidenced yesterday against Pleasant Grove. She is an outside hitter and right side. Chloe Garcia is an outside hitter, wears number 15. Ryan Day, an outside hitter. She wears number 17. And the host squad, coached by Craig and Sherry Allred. The libero, Sam Spencer, 5'5" junior. Number 3 is Jessica Openshaw. Number 5, Malaya Hedrick. Megan Hale is a 5'11" senior middle. Annie Gilmore, 6'1" senior outside. Presley Decker, she had a really good match last night. Delivered a lot of key points for her team. She's a 6-foot senior, and she plays opposite. The setter makes it all happen, Jayla Wybright, a 5'7" senior. And Phil, what do you know about the Faith Lutheran squad coming in here today?
Yeah, Herm, thanks. Yeah, watching them yesterday against Pleasant Grove, they really have some potential to put some good plays together. Scrappy kids. They've got their senior back their setter back that got hurt at the end of last season and kind of derailed their hopes to have a really successful postseason run. But she's back. Coach Fisher says she's better than ever.
That's a little scary. Boy, I've been impressed with the setters. I know I watched some of the prior game to the one we called yesterday, and then, of course, our match last night. But, boy, the setters are right on the dime with their placement of that ball for the most part.
Yeah, nowadays with all the potential that these girls have, just training for years and years and years, it's critical that the setter get the ball out to them just in a hittable spot. It doesn't need to be perfect, but a hittable ball is going to be key to success for both teams.
Well, another thing that really amazes me about this level of high school volleyball is there's so few rallies that end up just junky rallies. Most of them are really high profile, kind of finish with a slam or something like that kind of rallies. You don't get a lot of wasted rallies at this level. They're all, something to talk about.
Yeah, sign of a good team that everything, they try to put it in system. When it's not, you still get a nice, hard, well-placed ball. Might not be a kill, like you say, but it's going to be in a good spot with some pace.
Yep, and I've called all levels of volleyball, well, at least high school and college, but that is not a common thing, even at the higher levels. And it looks like Abigail Bunyan is going to serve first here for Faith Lutheran, and we'll be underway with our morning match here. And that's right off Decker on the back row. They set to the outside, and Openshaw gets a little net check. Back to Openshaw, and this time serious net check, and Faith Lutheran takes the opening point. And just as I talked about the amazing rallies, we get kind of a so-so one to start out here.
You did jinx that.
So Bunyan shoots it out the back door on the service error. We're all tied up. A couple of errors, one on the hit into the net, one on the overserve. Start out our day here in St. George. And Jayla Wybright, the setter, back to serve. She'll send it deep. The set takes it to the outside. Another bomb out the back door by Ryan Day, the sophomore outside. So a little bit of stuff going on here, not like what we just talked about to start out our day. Jayla Wybright. A little bit messy to get going here today, but you know what, we are too. So free ball by Bunyan. And she'll take it back to Gilmore, who had some big times, and a kill from the middle. And the Thunder lead 3-1. Pretty big corridor there to shoot for, Phil.
Yeah. Both teams coming out a little bit slow, like they almost had 2 hard games last night.
Yeah.
2 hard-fought games.
Right. Here's Wybright trying to take her team to 4. A little bit of a shank, saved on the front row, tipped over by Bunyan. Wybright takes it to the outside. Hedrick, or Openshaw rather, gets the tip kill. Little soft touch swing just over the top of the front row, falls in for the 4th point for the Thunder. Wybright, middle back, long run for the setter, Tori Castro. Dig for Gilmore, Openshaw into the block, just caught that line on that stuff block on the front row and side out for Faith Lutheran.
A very thick part of the line there.
Yeah. Well, we're not supposed to talk about that stuff, Phil, you know. So Ryan Day serves it up to the outside. Decker with a little knuckleball over the net, covered by Faith Lutheran, and that's going to end up in the net, side out Thunder. And back to serve for Desert Hills, Jessica Openshaw. Got the ponytails going on this morning. Castro tries the on-one play, and it works to perfection with about 25% of the court wide open back there for the side out. That's another morning play, I think.
Yeah, ball setter, ball header. Oh, whoops, here it comes.
Yeah. Abigail Keys back to serve. Junior middle hitter for Faith Lutheran. Well, I think Faith Lutheran had the shortest road trip here, didn't they? Isn't Las Vegas closer than Salt Lake City?
Yeah. Pleasant Grove's actually a little below Salt Lake City, a little south, but still much closer.
Tight to the net, put down on the net by Samantha Smith. That was easy peasy at the net. And she spotted that one coming and just took care of business at the net. So 5-4 Thunder in the early going. Popped up by Gilmore. The bump set back to Gilmore off the net. Swing across the net, covered by Faith Lutheran. They're going to take it outside. Popped in the air. Free ball by Gilmore. Another dump shot attempt by Castro. And Decker misses the line. We're tied up at 5. Keys will load it up again for Faith Lutheran. The Crusaders, that looks long, but no, that's what Desert Hills thought too, but a little puff of wind from the back dropped it right on that back line, and Faith Lutheran takes the lead. Keys putting together a nice service run in the early going of the first set here. Sets up on that right side. That time, no puff of wind, and it goes out, and we're tied up at 6. Kind of how our first set started in the one we did last night, just point for point, a little different level of play in the early going. Here's Sam Spencer, middle back. She's the libero for the Thunder. Free ball over. Wybright outside. Gilmore's in the front row, and she lets everybody know with a little splitter as she gets it down past Melee Maga. 7-6 Thunder. They've retaken the lead after giving up the 1-point lead to Faith Lutheran. Spencer, same spot. Castro, back row attack for Bunyan. Looked like some net check there, but might have been a touch. They're kind of questioning that. Have to check the replay here, huh?
Yeah, almost looked like it went through the net and touched her.
Well, there might have been something on the heel of the hand there, but it's not our call to make. 7-7. And Faith Lutheran will serve. Wybright, backside, Decker. She'll get the kill. Little shankopotamus there from Ryan Day. And the Thunder take the 1-point lead.
A good high swing there by Presley. Not something that she could unload on, so she just put a little pace on it, put it in a good spot. Good swing.
Make your defender move, do something that's not squared up and set up with a good platform. Opposite side, that's right on the line. Seeing eye serve turns into an ace. And the Thunder move out to the 2-point lead. Decker comes back from that kill, puts together an in-one play for the 9th point for the Thunder.
If these guys keep hitting the lines like this, Craig's going to have to repaint the lines.
Yeah.
They're going to wear out.
You bet. Here's Bunyan. Bunyan delivers notice that she's in the building. She swats that one into the middle of the floor. And side out for Faith Lutheran.
Yeah, good swing there. A little uncontested in the middle. We need to get our middle blocker out there to help.
And Mele Maga gets the ace. Wow, Decker stretched out but couldn't make the play on that. Great location from Maga.
Yeah, great serve. Dying, fading away to the line. Presley wanted to save another
Castro,
line touch. So.
Castro with the ace, yeah. Got to get my names right. Some numbers just really jump out at you. Then she gives one back, and the Thunder take the lead. So Castro gets the ace, gives up a service error. All square on that little sequence. And Annie Gilmore back to serve. She had some stretches last night that were pretty cool. Another crossing shot. Castro makes the play. Front row, hitting error, Ryan Day. Thunder back out by 2 as we're cruising through this first set from St. George, Utah at the 2025 Desert Challenge. Herm Ellenboss, Phil Spencer, your guys on the mic here this morning. Gilmore, same spot, covered by Bunyan. Free ball over the top. Decker, Wybright, outside. Openshaw, fluffed the tip, and it's a side out.
Yeah, Herm, like we mentioned yesterday, if Desert Hills is going to be successful, we probably need to get the ball going to the pins. I think we're missing a few opportunities to get the middle going so we can hold that middle block on the other side and really have our outside hitters and opposites have a singled up block.
Here's Hernandez, back to Gilmore. Openshaw, smokes it to the back row. Defense is there. Dig for Gilmore, quick to the middle. Malia Hedrick makes the play. And that's going to be a crossing kill for Ryan Day. She got that high hands and made it work for the point. And we're tied up again at 11.
I think Jayla heard me. She set the middle there and had an attempt to keep those people in the middle honest.
Well, you got that little earbud in there listening to Phil Spencer's wisdom. Decker outside, Openshaw, push to the back corner, covered by Hernandez. Bunyan's in her favorite spot. She goes to the jump tip and finds the donut hole for the kill.
Yeah, coming from a different level than what they're used to. I don't remember how tall she is, but
6'4".
She's touching that ball at about 9'6" and just throwing it down.
Hernandez back to serve. Spencer. Scramble play. Castro's there. On the front row, Day gets denied. Bunyan makes the save. Back to Day. That's going to dribble around, finally covered by Annie. Annie makes the swing. Maga gets there. Nice line shot. Nice dig for Decker. And the crossing shot. Decker's dig sets up that scoring play for the Thunder, and we're tied up at 12.
Good swing by Jessica there. I was talking to her before the match about how I really appreciated last night how she would swing at those balls that are off the net that aren't perfect, and she said, yeah, I've been working on that. I really need to get better at it, and I recognize it, and I'm going to do it.
So a little coaching for Phil Spencer.
No, just observing.
Yep, just encouraging. That's all it is, encouraging. Day makes the catch, gets it back. Diving save over there for Hedrick. And that's a kill on the front row. That's a familiar name in the attack department, Gilmore. And the Thunder move out to the 1-point lead as Hedrick goes back to serve. Castro's on target with the pass. Backside Bunyan, wide open line. Hard to cover the whole back row there for Gilmore. And Bunyan with good vision finds that back corner.
Yeah, just over the top. She's touching the ball so high that it's going to be a chore for our girls to get up there and contest that swing.
And Bunyan moves off the line to take over at the service line. Wybright, the quick, and that missed out the back door. Quick shot attempt to Megan Hale, and she got under it a little bit. About a yard out the backside. And Faith Lutheran retakes the lead. Point by point, we're going through this first set. Back row, Gilmore covered, Bunyan. Gilmore pops it up, and a double ties it up for the Thunder. And the setter, Wybright, moves back to the service line. Nice floater there back to Castro. Day catches the top of the block. Wybright, backside, Decker. Nice adjustment there on the back row by Castro. Bunyan roll shots it over the top. Here's Openshaw, that's down. Catches the heavy hand on the front row, and down it goes.
Another good swing by Jessica there. I'd love to see Jayla try to get her hands on that ball, give a little better directionality to that set.
And the service error, as usual, follows up the good play. That's not as usual. It happens, though, more often than you would expect.
Or hope.
Yeah. As a coach, you'd not want that never to happen. That's a momentum buster, but no problem. We play on.
There she goes.
Wybright. Gilmore, high bounce off the block. Too much time as the back row makes the play, and then out the back door on the swing. And that's the Thunder's point.
Good adjustment by Jayla there. I just had mentioned I'd love to see her get her hands on there. She must have received some inspiration and did it that play. Good for her.
There's Openshaw, just missed the foot fault and shot it out the back door anyway on the serve. So 16-16. I don't know if there's been more than a 2-point lead either way in this first set through the first 16 points. Spencer's on the cover and straight down to the floor, calling for the tip, not there. And the lead goes to Faith Lutheran. It's right in front of the up ref, so you'd think she'd see it. Now they change it. So they got the advantage of that challenge there. And now Sam Spencer back to serve. 17-16 in the opening set of the day. And that's going to be an ace for Spencer. No, it's covered. Second cover, no. I thought they might get a run down there by Ryan Day, but the misdirection on that blind pass didn't let that happen. And now a 2-point lead, and Amy Fisher calls her team over.
Yeah, both teams playing a little bit conservative maybe. Maybe like it's the first game of the day.
Yeah, maybe like they just had breakfast maybe. No, they were probably here at 7 doing their gym workout ahead of time just so they could be primed and ready for all the action here today. Each of these teams has 2 matches against really good teams here early in their season, so valuable time for the coaches to make the road trip in the case of 3 of these teams, and for the Thunder to test their mettle here.
Yeah, coaches, also the team as well, to make sure that they know how to come through and figure out how to turn it up, put the foot on the gas, so to speak, and not just trade side outs and go. Let's go earn something. Let's go get these points.
Let's get some mo going.
Yeah.
Well, it's kind of a parents and brothers and sisters crowd here this morning.
Yeah, there's plenty of seating if you want to head down.
Yeah, we got room, folks. Sam Spencer back to serve, left corner. Cross, popped in the air by Day. Run down by the setter, and that's going to be a point and a side out for Faith Lutheran.
Yeah, good contact there. Jayla's in the right spot, just couldn't quite come up with the dig.
Sawyer back to serve. She's a senior. DS. She'll float it down the line. Nice reach there for Gilmore. Gilmore gets it back, and she'll finish. High deflection into row 3, section 4. And the Thunder back up by 2, heading for the promised land at 25. And Decker back to serve for the Thunder. And we are going to bring in Ellie Ford probably. She's a sophomore as a DS. She'll take her spot in the corner. Now Decker loads up the strong left hand, takes it cross court, a little bit of a shank, sends her setter into the net, call it an ace. And Decker continues to make productive times on the floor for her team.
Yeah, good serve by Presley. She does have a really good serve.
Kind of got jumbled up in the net there. No chance for Faith Lutheran to dig it out of the net. Cross court. Back on one, sets up an opportunity. Outside, Gilmore with a kill. Boy, that serve set that all up as it was scramble time on Faith Lutheran's side of the net. Now with a 4-point lead, Amy Fisher, in her 37th year as coach of volleyball, calls her team over. So 21-17, Thunder in charge here, 4 points away from taking the first set.
Yeah, good little run there on Presley's serve. Still like to see him put a little more into either some defense. I'm waiting for a play or two to happen that's really going to fire him up and push him over the top to go bring it home.
Well, if they can get the one up in sets, that won't hurt their confidence either.
True.
Hard to be a dad, isn't it?
It's very easy
I've
to
been
be a
there.
dad.
Well, easy to sit up here. But
yeah, not to mention, obviously my daughter's playing, but I've coached most of these kids out here, so I'm very vested in everything that has to do on the court.
And our audience will have to cut Phil some slack, even though he doesn't need it. He's been very even-handed so far. Back to serve Decker. That's going to be long, so the timeout chills Decker down a little bit, and Faith Lutheran gets the side out. And now we're looking on the wrong side of a 3-point lead. And back to serve Tori Castro. Four-step approach. Pushed up by Decker, off the net. Gilmore, cross court. Picked up by Mauga. And that's too long. Back to the 4-point lead.
A little timid of a swing there by Ryan. Nice set.
Just didn't get on top of it at all.
Yeah, done that a couple times. Sprayed it out the backside.
Gilmore overpass, smoked to the floor by the Thunder. Who picked off that one on the front row? That's got to be a highlight there. The overpass put down.
Yeah, Malia,
Bam!
good job.
Yeah, there you go.
Way to patrol the net, Malia.
Hedrick paying attention here.
Officer Hedrick.
And an ace for Gilmore takes the Thunder to set point. 6-point lead for the Thunder. Gilmore with a chance to take it home here. Faith Lutheran on their toes. Floats it to the back corner. Sawyer. Gilmore, perfect pass up to Weybright. Spencer has to clean up the missed set. Sawyer tipped over by Bunyan. That's out. That's it for the first set. So 25-18 our final in the first set as the Thunder take care of Faith Lutheran.
A good little push there at the end. Good serving run. Some good plays by Desert Hills. Faith Lutheran kind of settled in at the end and forgot to be aggressive.
Yep, I don't think Coach Fisher would call that their best set, and hoping to improve on it here when we come back.
Yeah, my daughter called me last night with our sponsor G2G and was like, "Hey, I love G2G. Is there any way I could get some?" So if we've got some owners listening for G2G while we flash to their commercial, remember us up here in the broadcast booth. All right, we're back, joined by special guest here, Shane Holdaway, member of the USA national team. Thanks for joining us, Shane.
Yeah, of course. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, when I heard you were in town, I wasn't real thrilled with the circumstances to see you, but I was thrilled to see you. Why don't you tell us a little bit why you're here?
Yeah, so competing this summer with U.S. men's national team was a great honor for me. Unfortunately, during competition in Chicago in a match against Canada in the third set, I went down with a torn Achilles, so I'll be out for just a few months, but hopefully we'll be back into it soon.
Dang it, and you were telling me there was no sign of anything, no strain, no tightness in the calf or anything. It just kind of popped on you.
Yep, surgeon and doc, they both said it's one of those really unfortunate things that you can't really see coming, and it's happened to a lot of athletes. We're seeing it happen more and more often at the highest levels with pretty much every sport, so there's got to be something in the water or something to be done about it. So.
Well, with the highest level of care that you're going to receive, how long do you think you're going to be out before you can compete again?
Well, we'll be headed out to Germany at the end of this month, and we'll continue doing PT out there, and they're hoping to have me back in March. So that'll be my professional league, and then next summer with USA again.
So you're going to try to play in Germany this season?
Yes.
And then back on the national team next year?
Yes, that's the plan.
Oh, that'll be great. That'll be great. And feeling good outside of having your Achilles snap?
Yeah, you can only feel so good about something like that, right? But trying to keep my head high. You know, my wife, Mila, she's been doing a great job at just taking care of me, and obviously got my son, Hank, and just having them around is a huge blessing.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Kind of a blessing in disguise that you got to be around them, right, instead of the fellas.
Yep, never spent this much time all together, and we're loving every second of it.
Good. They smell a lot better than the guys, too, after they play, for sure.
That's right.
So when do you take off to Germany?
So at the end of this month, they'll expect me out, and then I'll basically just be a assistant coach for the team while I'm doing all my PT, and they want me out there giving my feedback to the guys and making sure that we're getting better every day. So, you know, once March comes around, we'll kind of see how it's going, but the plan is to be playing by then.
Okay, great. And then do you switch doctors, or does your doctor just kind of keep in contact with you, or how does that work?
Yeah, we'll keep in contact. They've got some online meetings these days that you can just check in with something like this, and obviously the German doctors will be taking care of me as well, so we'll get a little bit of double treatment there, as to say, but everybody will be on the same page.
Good. Well, take me back, Shane, to your years at Long Beach State, really successful out there. Tell me a little bit about, good touch there by Sam, almost saved by Annie there. Tell me a little bit about your high school days, or sorry, your college days, your days of glory.
Yeah, well, started playing volleyball pretty old. I was 16 and down in Southern California. Got very lucky to get placed on a team with a lot of really solid volleyball players on it. Some guys like TJ DeFalco, Josh Tuaniga, too many to name, but the list goes on. And ended up playing at Long Beach State. We won a national championship there in 2019, went to the finals again in 2022, had a really good 5 seasons there. It felt like a long time thanks to COVID, but you know, loved every minute of collegiate volleyball, and I think if anybody has the opportunity to pursue that path, I think they should absolutely go for it, regardless of where it's at.
Yeah, then we were able to play on the sand a little bit before he got injured. That was really fun for me to be able to set such a big guy. So that was a good time for me. We had some good games out there.
Yeah, I mean, I love sand. Any second we're not indoor playing, I'm out on the sand. So it's just loving the sport, man. And St. George, I think, can become such a hub for volleyball, outdoor and indoor. So I'm excited to be here watching.
Yeah, we do have some good clubs around, some good girls going places, some good recruiting classes heading out. I'm excited.
Yeah, I'm impressed with the service pressure here in this match so far, and I think it's a commonality among every level of volleyball. The team that puts on the most service pressure is usually going to do pretty well, and we're seeing a lot of that back and forth here in this match.
Yeah, for sure. I was talking to Coach Fisher earlier. She's been coaching for 37 years, 20 at Faith Lutheran, and she was telling me that where she first came up in the Midwest, you know, the girls were what she considered to be really good for a D2 school, but volleyball has changed so much over the last 10, 15 years. I was sharing with her a story about my sisters that played, And when they came and watched some of my girls play 4 or 5 years ago, she's like, these 16-year-olds would destroy our college team nowadays. They are so fundamental and so good now.
Yep, and you're just going to see that. It's going to keep getting better and better and better. So I'm excited.
Oh, it's going to be insane.
Nice serve there.
Yeah, good serve. Just clip the tape, change direction. Tough to track those down when you're locked in because they're serving at such a high rate.
Yeah, you got to wonder in the middle of the sets here if the feedback was, let's start hitting our serve and make them play some more volleyball off the net. Nice. Yeah, another good one. Ooh.
That was just for practice. Good serve, good float there. Just bottom fell out of it right there. Good serve. Yeah, last night in the game, the Marymount had a handful of great serves where the ball was just floating back and forth and ended up being behind players just because it was just floating so well. A little bit of trouble here. She's kind of figured out the serve here. Ellie's serving really well for Faith Lutheran. I'd love to get a side out here and break this before it gets too out of hand. Kind of let him off the hook there with a good tough serve that just missed. So Shane, tell me a little bit about the coaching difference. I mean, you probably got some amazing coaching at Long Beach, but you're theoretically getting the best of the best with Karch and the guys coaching up there on the national level. Tell me about the difference, or maybe something that stood out to you that's a change between the two.
Yeah, I'd say at Long Beach State with Alan Knight, I mean, to me, those guys are both in the same tier as far as coaching prowess, and those are both very experienced coaches, played a lot of volleyball, seen a lot of volleyball. And for me, it was interesting to see all the similarities between them. All the things that we learned at Long Beach go pretty much hand in hand with the things that we're trying to teach in the USA Volleyball Gym. And that, really made me grateful for the training that I got at Long Beach State, because it prepared me to play it for the national team and even overseas. So, again, a lot of the similarities has to do with the mental aspect of the game, and that's one thing I'd like to see a little bit more of for lower level volleyball. When we're talking high school, we're talking club before you get to university, is really getting in on the mental aspect of the game, because there's so much more to volleyball than just bumps that spike, right? But like you said before, the game's changing. More resources are becoming available for all these teams, and I think we're just going to continue to see the level of play get better.
Yeah, the skill obviously is going up. Technically, like you mentioned, when they're doing the right thing, you're doing the right thing. The coaches are teaching, hey, this is exactly what I was already taught, kind of reassuring that, hey, wait a minute, they did know what they were talking about. I complained a little bit, but they didn't know what they were talking about. So, yeah, as the skill and the training and the reps go up, I agree. We're going to see some great things happen.
You'd be surprised how many moments a lot of athletes have like that, where they're like, you know what? I should have listened to coach.
Well, Herm was giving me a little bit of a hard time about being a dad and trying to call this. It's the same thing with kids.
Yeah, that's right. Good dig. I love to see the back row attacks from both teams as well. That's something that's been missing from the women's side in the past, but nowadays you see more and more back row attacks, and especially when you watch the U.S. national women's team play, they're setting a lot of pipe, and they're a lot of fun to watch.
Yeah, good swing out of the back by Abby there earlier. Abby's the one they're really going to rely on here. She just kind of taps it down right there, just has a little bit of an advantage being taller than everybody, just right at the top of the block, and just snapped it down for a point.
I love that play. Regardless of the error, I think you should absolutely swing at every ball possible there. That's one thing that Karch Karai, man, he tried to ingrain in everybody. If you can get a swing on it, you get a swing on it, and that was great. You missed deep outside the court. Good try.
Well, that makes me feel a little better, because earlier in the broadcast today, I was just talking about how I talked to Jessica earlier about swinging last night, how I felt like she did a great job of swinging at balls that earlier in the year, and that I've seen her in club not swing at those balls. And I agree. Swing, go out on your sword. Go out at 100%.
Absolutely. And the more you do it, better you're going to get at it.
That's right. Practice it here.
Back one here. Good pickup. Another back row attack. There it is.
Yeah, Annie's going to be one that we need to feed to be successful too out of the back. A good transfer there from California, doing a great job. Doing a great job. So Shane, as you've kind of progressed from your good club team, which by the way, I saw a handful of your games on YouTube. I can't believe you guys ever would lose a game with that lineup that you guys had in club. And then going to college and now the national team. How has the competition made you better as you've been able to play these better and better people all the time consistently?
I mean, it's really, there's absolutely truth to the fact that if you play with high-level players around you, regardless of where you are in standing with them, you will get better. I think it's a blessing to be able to play in a gym and have both sides of the net be competitive. That's going to get you better faster than anything else in any sport, in my opinion.
Good clear ball there by Presley.
Yeah, that was nice. So when it comes to just playing and getting reps, I think you should look for those groups that push you, the groups that make you feel uncomfortable. You might not be the best player there, but you're improving way faster.
Yeah, for sure, and sometimes that's a little bit hard and intimidating to walk out there if you know those people are better, but like you say, if you can just do it and embrace it, you're going to get better.
Absolutely. Nice tip there. I remember in high school, I had never played volleyball before, and I showed up to a summer camp. And, you know, you had guys like Brendan Sander, TJ DeFalco that were bouncing balls and hitting the roof of the gym. And me walking in there, never played volleyball before, I said, I'm out of here. I can't do that. And I quit. I quit that summer camp and I stopped going. And then I gave it another try that school year and stuck with it. You know, I have a video of myself. I jumped up to hit a ball my very first volleyball game. And I landed on the ground and the ball then came back down and hit me in the face. So everybody starts somewhere, and if you just keep getting at it, really nice cover ball there.
And now you're the guy bouncing the balls into.
trying to. Good back row outlet, great dig.
Good spot there, right on the inside of that offside defender.
Yeah, good
pulling a little bit deep. Yeah, it's really fun to watch this game and hang out with you, Shane. Haven't had a lot of time to hang out. I know you're busy doing your thing. But yeah, I really had such a good time with you playing on the sand. That's kind of my thing. There's no way I could compete with you on indoor, for sure. But it was
sand,
fun.
you got it. You got game.
Well, that's years of experience and savviness. No athleticism anymore.
That's why they call sand an old man's game.
Oh, ouch, ouch. So nice backhanded compliment.
Let's see if they can get a run here. Good serve.
Oops.
Ooh.
Yeah, well played there. Just a little too aggressive, trying to slam it down over the top. Just throw that ball down. You don't need to follow through there. Wrist work.
Always rather have two people going after it than letting that drop, though.
No, for sure. For sure.
Good serve.
Yeah, I think you're right. They really have turned up the pressure on the serving there. Herman and I were mentioning in the first game that it kind of seemed like they were just kind of going back and forth, feeling each other out like an MMA fight. You know, nobody doing anything too crazy, but they've really turned up the serve pressure now.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, Shane, it's been really great to have you here. I appreciate you stopping by. Hopefully you'll stick around and catch some of the game. But yeah, best of luck to you in your rehab, and before you take off, let's get together again.
Sounds good. Thanks for having me.
Okay, man, you bet. Thank you so much.
I'll just be sitting down here with my
Yeah, sorry about that. It's such
No.
a good interview and so
No.
knowledgeable. I'm like, please teach me.
Bunyan on the serve. Tight to the net, swept into the air. Herm Ellenboss, backcourt side, into the corner. You know, this match, or this set, really did not look like the same teams that we saw in the first set.
No,
They have really amped it up.
Yeah, I think like Shane was saying, they really must have talked about service pressure and serving aggressive and harder and going and earning some points like we were talking about, and Faith Lutheran has really responded.
Yeah, this is a different team, and then Bunyan bombs it out the back door. But Faith Lutheran in control here, 20-11, trying to tie this up at a set apiece as back to serve goes Openshaw. Gilmore has really had some good swings lately. There's another one. She missed it that time, but she was really popping it there for several points, even though it looks on the scoreboard like she wasn't, but she was. When you don't have the headset on, you hear the thump a little more, you know? And here's a gal that really got a service run going just a few minutes ago, Ellie Ford. She's got a nasty speed float there. Wow. Gilmore on the outside. Popped up on the back row, saved by Bunyan. Free ball, or a chip shot into the corner for Garcia, falls, and Faith Lutheran just 3 points away from tying this up. Ford looks things over. Perfect form on the setup for the serve. Weybright, Decker almost caught the Raptors that time on the deflection, and that's too long for Abigail Keys.
Yeah, good play there. Good swing by Presley. Good dig by Faith Lutheran. He just waffled it a little bit out of bounds, just over the top and out.
Sam Spencer moves over to her corner here. Launches cross court. Chases the setter a little bit on that serve receive. Gilmore a little flat on the pass, but her teammates cover her on that one. Backside, stuff block on the front row. Gilmore was there, also Hedrick. Perfect timing. Looks like Gilmore got most of that one. And Spencer loads it up again. Long way back in the second set for the Thunder. Popped up by Openshaw. And the kill goes down.
Yeah, good swing, good set, good termination.
So what's his recovery time on that injury? Or maybe you talked to him about that already. I'm just curious.
Yeah, I did. He's hoping to be back playing in March in Germany, signed to play in Germany.
On the front row, tipped over, Nigro, Bunyan, perfect up to the center, and that one planted right off Sam Spencer from Abigail Keys. And Faith Lutheran just 2 points away.
Yeah, they've really turned it up this game. Playing really
you hear
well.
about those Achilles injuries, and it's really tough to come back, but you know, medicine has changed so much over the years. There's Gilmore, wide open, splits the defenders. Bunyan watches it go by like the mailman. And back to serve, it's Decker. Thunder have closed within 8. Floater, Bunyan gets under it, to the outside, Garcia off the block and down. Set point.
Yeah, good aggressive swing there, just chiseled it off the edge of the block.
Nobody defends too much past that line on those kind of swings. Sometimes they go out of bounds to go get them and save them out of their bench and so on, but not on those tool jobs. Here's Bunyan. That's going to be down, and that's game. So 25-15, the Faith Lutheran Crusaders answer and take care of the Thunder here in the second set, and we are tied up at 1 set apiece. Things getting better every set. We'll see what this next one holds.
Yeah, really good response there by Faith Lutheran. Came out, really listened to what their coach was telling them, to be more aggressive, to go after it, and they did it. Love to see Desert Hills have the same response here.
You know, you got to admire Amy Fisher and all the years she's been coaching. You know, I think she talked to you at length about some of that time, but you do it that long, and you have seen so much. There's nothing new that comes at you when you're dealing with the same rules and the same kind of flow of a sport. But she has seen a lot of comebacks and orchestrated a lot of comebacks. And, boy, that second set comeback for Faith Lutheran was pretty solid.
Very solid. They must have had their G2G protein bars between sets.
And maybe they can get a delivery, too.
Maybe.
You know, Bert, just back the truck up here. Desert Hills High School, what's our address here? 828 East Desert Hills Drive.
Yeah,
just send a truckload over, because Phil and I and the teams are ready to enjoy your product here. Back in St. George, Utah at the Desert Challenge, the 2025 edition, the fourth year of this tournament. And the participants getting stronger and stronger each year. I know I talked to Craig Allray, and has got his eyes on some pretty strong teams in the Mid-East. I think he talked about Louisville that he's invited for future ones, and just kind of picking up the cream of the crop to come and face his Thunder here. And what a beautiful place to visit for one of these teams from the Flatlands who comes out here. That's just a fire hose of beauty when you come to a place like this. You don't even know where to look. There's so much stuff to see. And you know, people like you, Phil, and your daughter Sam and the rest of your family, you know, you see this every day, so you probably think, wow, the Flatlands are amazing. Look at all this open space with trees, you know.
Not a mountain in sight. This is
yeah.
amazing.
Yeah, just goes, you know, it kind of follows where you live. You kind of fall in love with it, become part of it. Everybody goes on vacations with their 40-foot-long campers to go see other stuff when they're living in the heart of beauty, but just depends on the vision, I guess, who's looking at it.
Yeah, very beautiful here. I know Craig wants to share that with everybody that comes and plays, but also he wants to build this tournament into something that nationally ranked teams want to come to, and it's going to be a destination type
pretty good
tournament.
Start, I would say. So all tied up at 1. Herm and Phil back on the microphones here, and Faith Lutheran will serve first. Wybright outside, Openshaw down the line. The dig is there. Pumped up into the air by the super libero for Faith Lutheran. She is amazing. And Ford pops it up again just on cue. Here's Bunyan. Bunyan gets covered that time. Sweet dig for Sam Spencer. Back corner, that's down. That sweet dig for Sam Spencer turns into a kill and the opening point for the Thunder. I love to see it when a great play is paid off by their team.
Yes.
That's how you build momentum.
Exactly. Good swing for good swing there. Both teams going at each other now. They're kind of trying to find their rhythm and stay aggressive and hard swings.
Everybody, man, Gilmore was picking up the miles per hour on that last set too, I thought. A little off-balance swing. It's going to find the floor. That was a kind of a get it over kind of shot by Sarah Nigro, and it worked, and we're tied up at 1, side out. As Abigail Bunyan goes back to serve. Well, I'd like to keep an eye on her, the way she's been playing as a freshman. That the future seems pretty bright for that young lady at 6'4". And the tip falls for Decker. Kind of a half swing, maybe not a tip, but it worked.
I like that. I like that. Disguise it like she's going to hit and then take a little bit of pace off. Everybody's dug in and not quite ready to go forward.
And back to serve for the Thunder with a 1-point lead. It's Openshaw. Openshaw, middle back to Ford. Tipped over. Little stretch there for Wybright. Good cover by Spencer coming out of nowhere. Back out to Gilmore. Gilmore gets dug out. Sweeping set to the outside. And Gilmore, another shot, finds the open corner. Wow. Good rally.
Smart shot there. Everybody's at the net because everything was happening up there, and she just takes the ball and bleak, throws it to the back corner.
A lot of target area for that one as Openshaw loads it up again, leading 3-1. And that's going to little pinball action there. Yeah. Bunyan might have got a nose full there. She's rubbing it, but not too bad.
2 contacts really good. One of them her face, not as good.
Yep. And Openshaw takes it back to Ford. Ford pops it up that time, a rare pop-up on the front row. That one dribbles off the block, and Nigro scores. Sarah's a junior outside hitter for Faith Lutheran. More volleyball coming up today on YouTube from St. George, Utah. If you love what you're seeing here, stick around for Pleasant Grove Marymount at 10:30. Marymount Faith Lutheran coming up at noon. Ford back to serve. Nasty serve along with the rest of her volleyball package. Chip shot for Gilmore. Popped into the air. Opposite corner push, and Thunder can't handle that one. And it's a 1-point game. Thunder clinging to the 4-3 lead early in the third set. And Ellie Ford has a super speed float. I don't know what you call it, but that is one nasty serve.
That is a good serve. And it seems like she's serving every rotation. Is she coming in for each middle?
I wonder. Is that what liberos are all about? They can serve for anybody?
Just once, though, just for one position.
But even that one, there was people in the area, but they could not handle all the junk she's putting on it, so even Gilmore pops it up there. Ford's amazing at the serve. Now Gilmore hits the net. Little net check for Annie Gilmore. And Faith Lutheran takes the lead, 5-4. The block was there. Faith Lutheran's getting over there on that block. They had the double block wall set up and might have psyched out Gilmore a little. Wybright, backside this time. Decker, twister off the block.
Good set choice there. It was becoming a little predictable going to the outside every single time. Well, not every single time, but the majority of the time. And jacking the flow there, getting it to Presley for a good termination there.
And back to the service line for Sam Spencer. Push to the front row, to the outside. That's going to dribble back to Faith Lutheran. The set for the backside swing. That's going to find the floor. Bunyan vicious from behind the 10-foot line, and it's a 6-5 lead. Gilmore had one while you guys were talking that blew me away. She was about 3 feet behind the 10-foot line, and she put as much MPH as you ever want to see on a swing to get it down. So there's some good back row hitters in this match right here. Wybright loads up Gilmore. That time the Rocky Mountain wall goes up and shuts it down. Mauga. Watch Mauga here with the hands perfect. Another perfect double block set up, straight up. No twist on the arms. Down it goes, 7-5, Faith Lutheran. Gilmore, perfect to Wybright. She goes backside to Decker, and Decker gets the deflection off the receiver into row 9, seat 4.
Yeah, good swing there. Let's see if this works again. I'd love to see a middle get mixed in here every once in a while to kind of draw that middle into being honest, to staying
Loosen
honest.
up that double block there a little bit.
Yeah.
The quicks. Quicks can be really effective too. That's a big swing in the middle, knocked back by Desert Hills. Wybright outside. Gilmore loads it up again. She had no transition leverage on that. Still got a good pop on it. Wybright middle. There's our middle. And Hedrick gets dug out by Ford. Ford's everywhere. Sam Spencer makes the play. Annie Gilmore, free ball to the backside. Nobody was going to play it. Finally, Bunyan stepped in with a long arm. Back to Gilmore, and that's a tip kill. We're tied up at 7. Got the fingernails on that one.
Got the fingernails, and I'm noticing it is so easy to ref from up here.
Especially with replay.
No, then I get corrected quite a bit when I look at the replay.
Yep, and Decker keeps going at the service line, hoping to get the lead here for her team. Mauga runs it down, push back at the net. That's going to go the Thunder's way, and the 4 hits as that caught a lot of tape.
Caught a lot of tape, but if it hits the ground, that's one that you definitely look at the stat keeper and say, touch.
Yeah, right, no matter what. So the Thunder have come back for the 1-point lead in the 3rd set. Decker, deep one, that's going to end her run at serve. Tied up at 8 as we turn things over to number 15, Chloe Garcia, sophomore. And Garcia takes it deep, popped in the air by Decker. Annie Gilmore, that's a tough one to hit the way that set was coming in, and she just missed that back corner.
Yeah, those balls over the shoulder are super tough to hit, but she almost did it, going for that deep
corner.
Yeah,
I mean, she almost drew it back on a string. Garcia, Decker makes the play. Weybright, let's go back to Gilmore for the tip. You know, you send them long into the corner, then you come back with a donut hole dump shot, and we're tied at 9.
Yeah, staying aggressive with that swing is going to help that because they're dug in expecting a swing, and then you throw in that soft tip every once in a while.
That's just one of the beautiful parts of volleyball. You know, there's so many little intriguing ways to set up the other team. So Mauga, Bunyan, and Bunyan's back in the front row for the 10-9 lead. Twister off the block and down. And Abigail Keys will take over at serve. Thunder playing better this set after a little bit of shock and awe the last set. Decker, Weybright, here goes Openshaw, comes back to her on a dribbler off the net. Back row attack for Gilmore, too long. Didn't have her footwork going there.
Yeah, not quite set, a little bit behind the 10-foot line. We'd love to have that ball just right on the 10-foot line so that she can attack from there. That one's about 5 feet behind.
That changes the release point so much, just that little foot or two there. Push, one arm stab, keeps it alive, free ball over. Here's the attack for Faith Lutheran. Bunyan, and Sam Spencer ruins that attempt. Decker, middle, all the way back to the Thunder. Tipped over with the left hand by Hedrick. Great play for Hedrick on that quick developer there. There's another good reflex play.
Good adjustment by Jess there.
Openshaw, Spencer on the dig. Back to Openshaw, right on the pins, and a save for Faith Lutheran on a ricochet rabbit play. Weybright, here's Gilmore. She can't take the swing, has to free ball it over. Bunyan off her back heels. That's going to go behind the up ref, and that'll be a kill for Bunyan. Piling up the attack points. And it's 12-9. Faith Lutheran.
Yeah, what a fun rally to watch. Just good digs, good swings.
And Keys putting together a little service run here that has helped Faith Lutheran take over on the scoreboard. Weybright out to Openshaw, short shot, the jump tip. She spotted a little bit of a defensive breakdown there and went to the short stuff, and it paid off.
Yeah, I'd like to see Desert Hills kind of take a little breath here, get a little bit collected. They seem to be a little bit scattered. The sets are kind of being sprayed a little bit, but I think a deep breath will help get them back in the system.
Free ball will set them up here. What are they going to do in the attack? How about the middle? And that's going to be successful.
There we go.
Megan Hale. Kind of shut down the rally by the Crusaders before they could get too far out in front. Malia Hedrick back to serve. Bunyan, boy, she's a good passer and serve receiver in addition to everything else. Like, that was an all Bunyan point there. Makes the good pass, gets the perfect set, plants it, And it's back to the side out for Faith Lutheran.
Yeah, I'm really impressed with Abby there. She is, just as a freshman, a really good
Melee
player.
Maga. Yeah, she's one to watch. I think they all are at this level. Little pickoff play, waiting to gobble that one at the net was Samantha Smith. Eyes lit up, says, hey, I get a good one here, and look at all that room, and she paid it off. 14-11, back out on top by 3 for the Crusaders. Decker with a good pass. Wybright outside. Openshaw, the short tip. Another tip falls for Openshaw.
Yeah, good set there, good placement. I think that one, that quick that they had running a couple plays ago really helped reset them. A couple good sets in a row there.
Well, you wonder how long it takes to Faith Lutheran to say, well, this is starting to burn us. We'll make some adjustments here. Back out to Openshaw, another tip, another payoff. Wow. And Faith Lutheran having a lot of trouble with the Openshaw tip shots.
Yeah, Coach Fisher over there kind of redirecting traffic, telling kids to do something a little bit different this time. We'll see what happens.
Mauga, Bunyan. This time Spencer shuts down Bunyan. Decker, Stuffer-Rama at the net. Rocky Mountain wall goes up, and down it goes for the side out for Faith Lutheran.
Yeah, kind of swinging out of a phone booth there. She had to go there, and the blockers knew it.
Right.
They were ready.
That's a blocker's dream there. Am I wrong, or does Faith Lutheran double block everything?
They're really good at getting
Yeah, they are
two
focusing
people
on the block, and Ace there takes the lead to 16-13.
Yeah, it all starts with the eye work there as a middle to see what's happening and then be able to make that adjustment to get there.
Gilmore pops it over the basketball hoop, and then Openshaw pushes it cross court to Mauga. On the net, Garcia pushed to the back corner. Did that hit? Oh, that was close. Watch the replay if we get it on that one. That was tucked right into that corner. There it is. Did the camera catch it? Oh, man. A wide line special, as Phil would say.
Just out.
Getting your daughter mixed up with you here. Back row, Bunyan got on top of that a little early. And it's a 1-point set in the third set. Neither one of these teams shy about exploiting their back row attack when they have Gilmore and Bunyan back there especially. Openshaw too long. Back to the 2-point lead.
Yeah, Shane and I were talking about that the women's game has really incorporated that over the last handful of years as the girls have become more and more and more skilled to add that into their repertoire. You used to see it with boys and men all the time, but now the girls are just following suit.
Well, and the setter has to have confidence in that too, and you can see that that's not even a thought for the two setters to set up that back row. Twister off the block from Gilmore, nice recovery, and that's a tip, I believe. What are they calling that one? Yep, it was not a tip. And it's back to the 1-point lead. Spencer. Bunyan, perfect pass to the net, maybe a little tight. Wybright, bump set. Spencer, Decker unloads. High bounce off the block, slows that one down. Mauga goes backside, tip. Right there, Decker. Wybright outside. Gilmore, cross court. Another dig for Ford. On the front row, Garcia. Decker gets another load, and she misses. A little tough from that spot with the left hand sometimes.
Yeah.
You get a little spin on it or something, don't you?
Little mishit, which is going to happen, but I love how both teams are competing.
Oh, they're pounding that ball.
Yeah, really going after it now.
Openshaw perfect to Wybright, straight to the floor. Slam dunk time for Hedrick. 19-16.
She must have just barely raked the net there as she followed through.
Got a fingernail, felt good though. One of those feel good but didn't count plays. And Faith Lutheran up by 3 in the third set. Openshaw makes a spinning away from the ball play. Gilmore misses. She has lost her GPS a little bit on the last couple of swings.
Yeah, last couple plays, just a few unforced errors. That's a really good set by Jayla to get her feet there and get her hands on that ball. I know that they've really been working on that with her to try to get some location figured out. Hands are going to help. Annie just barely sprayed it out of bounds, though.
Yep. falls into the stuff happens category. 2016 as we go to the timeout.
We want perfection out of imperfect girls.
Yeah. High school girls, with nothing else on their minds at this point of their life. As you as a dad would know.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sure mine's just reading and writing letters to her parents all the
Never
time.
on her phone, right? Well, we joke about it, but, none of these girls are on their phones for this hour and a half here. And for some girls, that's quite a break for them.
Yeah.
Maybe not these athletes because, they are focused on what they're trying to do with their careers and their fun with athletics. 2016, Thunder need another rally. They'll go out to Gilmore. Long block. Great save out there by Openshaw. Decker gets the chance. Look at that location.
Yeah, what a good spot there.
Oh, man.
Just snap that wrist and just spin it down.
Decker just threads the needle, and all they can do is look at it, and that's how you start a comeback. 2017, back to serve, Decker. Bunyan with a shank. Saved by Mauga running away from traffic. Spencer perfect to Weybright. Outside, Gilmore tipped to the corner, sails on her.
Just out, little tight there. Annie did what she could with it, trying to get to score just a little bit strong.
Well, you hit that corner once, then you think you got the touchdown, and then next time, for some reason, the ball's got a different spin on it or whatever. Decker, back row, Openshaw, right into the teeth of the block of Abigail Keys. And Faith Lutheran looking to pull this one out here as they're up by 5 with 3 to go. Garcia back to serve for the Crusaders. Spencer makes the play off the 10-foot line. Decker gets covered. Weybright quick. They try that quick again and run down by Openshaw. Hedrick with a free ball that almost fell. Spencer will set up the attack. Backside, Decker. And right there waiting is Faith Lutheran, and a fluff on the front row by Abigail Keys. Side out. Thunder.
I'm really impressed with the quality of these rallies. Both teams going after it, swinging hard, staying aggressive, making good play after good play.
Gilmore at the service line now. Mauga's going to go out to Bunyan. Why not? And the Thunder solve the swing, but the overpass is a perfect setup in the middle for the 23rd point for Faith Lutheran. (23-18). Almost at ace, chased down by Weybright. That'll bring the free ball from Gilmore. Mauga, cross court. Bunyan gets solved that time by Gilmore. Backside, back row attack, and she hooked it. And we're at set point. You get that in or outside spin, I guess. I'm not sure which direction it is when you're doing the lefty thing, but it's set point. Craig Allred wants to visit with his team one more time, perhaps, in this third set. All tied up at one set apiece. It's 24-18 as we go to the break. Abigail Keys will try to take this one home for Faith Lutheran in the third set. Gilmore overpass.
It's a lift. Look at me reffing again. I'm doing so good.
Well, it's hard to switch roles. You know, you got the parent thing going on, the ref thing going on, the former pro beach volleyball player thing going on, and you're stuck with a guy like me here trying to explain it.
I just need to pick one and go with it.
Hedrick, Bunyan, going for the finish. There it is. So Faith Lutheran goes to Bunyan for the big swing finish, and the lead goes to Faith Lutheran, 2-1.
Yeah, good swing there. Good swing there going into the break. I'm just really impressed with how both teams kind of turned it up there in that game, and they're really delivering haymakers back and forth to each other. They must have had their G2G bars between sets.
They are going to hire you, Phil.
All I want is one free. That's all I want.
You know, you'd work cheap, right?
That's right.
G2G. Come and hire Phil Spencer for his part-time job, and he will make you proud. We'll be back. So can the Thunder send this to a fifth set? We will find out over the next 20, 25 minutes. And we're sure thankful to have all of you along on YouTube for this St. George, Utah Desert Challenge.
And one sponsor I've been forgetting to mention, Herm, is House of Jump here in St. George. Great sponsor. Craig wanted to make sure I got their name shout out. They do such a good job supporting Desert Hills sports. So if you get a chance, head on over there, jump on a couple trampolines, take your family, your kids out there. Guarantee it'll be fun.
And Wybright starts out at the service line. Mauga right to Bunyan. Bunyan misses. Too tight an angle that time. I like how she thinks as a hitter, though. She's constantly working those angles, and then once in a while, hey, I'm just going to out-muscle you on this one with the high release like you've been talking about. Wybright back to Bunyan. Quick in the middle, swept out of the net. That's going to be too much net there, a little Spider-Man action. And we're tied up at 1.
I've seen that happen a handful of times to a lot of teams that are playing here. They get up and touch the block, it comes down, and instead of closing their fist to pop the ball up, their hands are open and they're lifting the ball.
I would say the open hand is a natural reflex, right?
Yeah,
so you have to work against your natural tendencies,
kind
of.
True,
Decker. Back row, Gilmore still hasn't found that range over the last little stretch here. She's gotten a little bit wild from the hitting position. That's true of most hitters, though. You go through stretches where you can't miss and everything looks like a highlight reel, and then other times, oops, and it's just a little thing that you got to get fixed. A little left-hander into the net. Gilmore saves it on the last play. Mauga to the middle. That's going to miss out the backside, tied up at 2.
Good cover there by Sam. She does such a good job of that, to just recycle ball after ball. I've obviously watched a lot of games over the last couple of years, and she does a really good job of recycling those balls that get blocked.
That's what you want out of a libero, and for some reason those liberos can read those blocks and get under them. My daughter was a libero as well, and I was always amazed that, you know, those point blank straight down, how does anybody get those up? But, you know, people like Sam and my daughter, they kind of, you know, a lot of them out there, they read things so well. Bunyan back. Sam Spencer, perfect. Wybright, outside. Gilmore, cross court, that's going to fall. And we're inching our way through the 4th set here. Faith Lutheran up 2-1. Herm Ellenboss, Phil Spencer talking it up on your YouTube channel here this morning as Sam Spencer goes back to serve. Beautiful for Ford, but right into the teeth for the slam dunk by Hedrick.
Yeah, good job by Malia there, taking that little quarter step back to get in the right spot and just tapping it down.
And Thunder pull out by 1 as Sam Spencer goes back to serve.
Get down.
That's going to be, boy, I thought Ford stuck up a hand there, but it was just an optical illusion there, and we're tied up at 4 again. You know, my buddy who does basketball with me keeps track of ties, you know, for some basketball games. If we did that in a volleyball match, man, we'd have a sheet full of them. It seems like, especially in this tournament, we've seen inchworm stuff the whole time as the Thunder get the point and lead by 1 as Decker goes back to serve. There's Ford, perfect to Mauga in the middle. A little touch on the defense keeps that one from happening as Tori Castro puts it away. PA said Keys, we'll just not worry about that. Cross court, there's Decker, perfect. Wybright, a lot of target room there for Hedrick. Bunyan with a push from the back row. Decker tries the back corner, not there. Back row attack, net check. Sarah Nigro can't get it over the net on that back row attack. That's all about the high release point. You see Bunyan doing those, and then Nigro a little bit shorter.
Yep.
And Annie Gilmore loads it up. Got to get her going again if you're a Thunder fan. Mauga right to the middle, right to the floor. Keys with emphasis.
Yeah, good swing out of the middle there. Just picked a seam, hit it right through it. Good swing, good decision.
Are you liking how the sets are being selected as far as pins and middles, the way it's playing right now?
Yeah, I'd love to see us get a little less predictable. The passing's going to help with that. Tight pass there. Jayla was able to save it.
Openshaw gets the kill. Thunder with the 7-6 lead.
Good swing by Jessica there. The opposite defender took a step in to protect from that middle ball being dropped, and she put a little pace on it to keep that changeup coming.
So Hedrick back to serve. Well, they'd like to get a little daylight between them and Faith Lutheran, not happening on that tape check serve. And Abigail Keys back to serve for Faith Lutheran. She'll take it cross. Decker has the pass. Openshaw, touch, slowed it down, took it out of the reach of Tori Castro with the diving move by Castro, came up empty. And everything worked out for the Thunder on that one.
Yeah, good high swing there on the top of the block to challenge the top of that block by Jess. Good job.
Wybright, middle back. Mauga, Bunyan. Sam Spencer, a little bit tight to the net, push at the net. Won by Faith Lutheran. The duel is won by the Crusaders. And they tie it up at 8. Something happened there that caused Amy Fisher to go quickly talk to the down ref.
Yeah, I just missed the replay. I wanted to see it. It looked
well, they
like
changed the score.
Yeah, it looked like the ball was on Desert Hill's side, and the blocker reached over to touch the ball. Here we go again. We'll watch this real quickly. She's up on our side. Yeah,
little roofing.
Yeah, I think she may have interfered with the opportunity to set that ball.
That was my favorite play in camp volleyball at 6'8". Try to get it over me. Try to go around me. And that's a Decker play at the net. 10-7. Thunder pulling away a little bit here in the middle third of this 4th set.
Yeah, good block by Presley there. Saw that she was going to be alone, so she took ball and blocked it down.
Forward, Bunyan. That's going to be out the back door off the tip of Spencer. And that gets the side out, allows the Crusaders to start working on the mini comeback here. Melee Maga lines it up down the line, and they load up Decker. Tried for the donut hole, not there. Back to Bunyan. Sam Spencer's figuring out Bunyan a little bit. Decker with the tip, overpass. Decker sets it up, outside, Openshaw. That's going to be saved on the back line, but it hits the hoop, and that play worked out for the Thunder. I've heard of bank shots, but not off the backside of the hoop.
Not on purpose over here. That great dig by Sam there to keep the ball alive on a good swing by Bunyan.
Looked like a foot fault there, no call. Openshaw, Bunyan twists it off the block. That's pure velocity there. Gilmore might have been a little off on the blocking setup, but not much. That's just Bunyanism there. You can't believe she's a freshman.
No, so good.
Gilmore overpass. Mauga, lots of targets. Tips it inside the aerial. Kept alive by the Thunder. Mauga goes backside, and that's sweet over the top of Sam Spencer and on the floor for the Crusaders.
Yeah, good deep swing there. Looks like it may have gone a little long, but line judge thought it caught the line.
Bunyan, there's the ref Spencer. Bunyan with the ace. I'm sorry, I'm starting to get to know you better, and I'm picking on you here. Good thing you don't know all my stuff here.
Yeah.
Tied up at 11 now as Bunyan's working a run here from the service line. She'll launch and gets the line after Gilmore gave up on it. Gilmore saying, can we watch the replay on that? Bunyan says thank you. They're going to kind of talk about it. Down riff talking to Craig Allred. So who gets it? Nope, they're going to give it to Faith Lutheran.
Yeah, it looked like it was really close. We let it go.
Here we go. Final answer. Your final answer is right on the line.
That ball's in, yeah.
Totally. Good job, down ref and side judge there. Spencer pops it up a little, run down by Decker. On the front row, Spencer's left to a free ball. Mauga is going to take it outside. Catches the block off of the outside hitter. Here's Decker, tries the corner, and Bunyan makes the play on a high ball, and Decker gets the kill.
Yeah, good clear ball by Sam. Get it out there so that Presley can swing at it.
Bunyan couldn't lay off of it.
No, play the close ones, though. If you're not sure, play it.
Yep. Well, I just learned a axiom there. Play the full swing. Stuffer by Gilmore, and the Thunder take the lead, 13-12. That was solid. And I like what Gilmore does as far as steering it back. She's got, a good angle on those blocks. You don't see them leaking out on the teams that we've been doing here. And we're tied up at 13.
Yeah, good handwork there by Annie. You want to press that ball, put your hands to position 6 on the court so that when you do touch it, it blocks back into the court.
Textbook block. Ford. That time she's covered. Decker gets a perfect set. She unloads, blocked out of bounds, point Thunder. She had to love that set, Phil.
Oh yeah, good set there.
Watch right on the pins. Boom.
Yeah, good tool.
And that's the difference between the Gilmore block and the block we just saw. This, that would have been the same result if a little bit of a change in the blocking angle there. Tipped over by the middle there, Abigail Keys. Gilmore off the net, catches the top of the block. Bunyan. Keys, back to Gilmore. Ford on her knees makes the play. Free ball. Gilmore is going to get, backside Decker. And that's a stuffer as at the net, picked off by the Crusaders. And here we go, 14-14. Had a little bit of a lead there, and Thunder fought back. And now we're inching our way again towards the end of this fourth set. Cross court. Whybright to Gilmore. That's down.
Good swing by Annie there. A lot more successful when we have a pass that Jayla's able to get her hands on and get that ball up in the air with the consistent tempo that the hitters love to be able to time it up and smash it.
And that may get her really going here. Not that she ever fell back much, but Mauga, Bunyan back row. Sam Spencer off the backboard above this place. Whybright, I'm sorry, that's Openshaw gets the corner. And the lead is 2. Good time to make a little run here for the Thunder. Boy, she was way off the net. Still got the targeting perfectly. Push at the net by Mauga, covered by the Thunder with hustle. Mauga gets it back. Flipped over by Keys. Whybright takes it for the back row attack by Gilmore and tape check. 1-point lead for the Thunder. Crusaders back to the service line. Scramble play at the net, covered on the backside. Mauga, Bunyan, too strong for Decker. And we are back to the 16-16 tie.
It just stopped working.
And back to serve Tori Castro. Castro loads up the jump serve. Whybright outside. Openshaw off the top of the block. Castro makes the dig. Off the net. Bunyan. Scramble play at the net. They get over the free ball. Mauga pushes for the corner. Gilmore makes the adjustment. Free ball will set up the attack for Faith Lutheran. Outside, Bunyan hammers the nail. And Faith Lutheran takes the lead. So a little bit of an edge for the Thunder. Now they're looking at the wrong side of a 17-16 set score. Make it 17-17. Castro can't get it over the net on the serve, and back to serve for the Thunder. It'll go Hedrick, Malaya Hedrick. Ford slides in for the play, out to Bunyan. That's going to be wide. A little bit high on the set there. Hedrick will serve. Thunder back on top with a 2-point in a row situation. Keys flips it over. Covered by Hedrick. Back corner. Castro gets the ricochet rabbit off the backboard, and it's down 19-17.
That backboard scored a couple points for Desert Hills.
Pretty opportunistic backboard there, and we're going to see a timeout from Amy Fisher as we're approaching the 20-point mark. Well, you were talking about sponsors and how much this jump, what was the name?
House of Jump.
House of Jump contributes to the activities around town at the high school, and boy, that is so huge. You know, you get a good sponsor that For example, I'm from Billings, Montana. Shields in that area just steps it up, you know, and so important to these schools. They don't travel for nothing. They pay the same bills that we pay when we travel. And a lot of these teams are going all over the place, not only for their conference and season schedule, but so a big thank you to all the sponsors that make high school sports possible, and of course on a bigger level, college sports. They are a huge factor in what we're seeing here today in St. George, Utah.
Yeah, make it possible and make it a little more fun. I mean, it's fun to go to a tournament out of town and have that opportunity to do that.
Hedrick will try to take the lead to 3. She gets covered. Mauga loads up Bunyan. Cross court. Nice play by Openshaw. Back row by Decker, and she short arms it. So a side out of the timeout. Amy Fisher gets what she wants there. And in the game comes Samantha Smith for the Crusaders. Back to serve, Abby Keys. Thunder still up by 1 as we're heading for the 20-point mark. Keys, cross court, Gilmore, Openshaw. Into the block, covered on the front row. Back to Openshaw. She tries the corner, but nice adjustment there by Keys. Up to Bunyan off the back foot. Gilmore. Wybright, that's down. Openshaw takes the Thunder to 20. She's got some hops there, Phil.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, she must have learned that at House of Jump.
Yeah, perfect segue. And here's Wybright at the service line. Bunyan, perfect pass, gets it right back. Stuffarama. Decker gets the love shove from her teammates. 3-point lead.
Yeah, great block, great handwork there by Presley.
This will be a good highlight here.
Yeah.
Boom.
Hands up and over, pointed down to zone 6. Great block.
Floater, backside. Keys has the pass. Bunyan has the swing. Another great play on the net for the Thunder. That time it's Megan Hale and Amy Fisher down by 4 with the Thunder 3 points away, has to call her team over.
Yeah, good response by Desert Hills there to trade points back and forth and then make a little bit of a run and understand where
then
we're at in the game.
Run, and then they reestablish. So
yep.
that's lots of character points there for the Thunder.
Yeah, playing these good teams is such a good character and program builder because you've been through the battles. You know that you can do it. You have some good plays. Not all of them are going to work out for you, but then you learn and grow from the mistakes and the good plays that the other team are going to play. I mentioned last night, sometimes the other team is going to score, and there's nothing you can do about it. Learn from it, move on, and try the same thing yourself.
Yep, try to improve every game if that's possible. So can the Thunder send this to 5? We said that last night with Marymount. Put together an awesome 4th set for the Thunder, but they fell just a bit short. Can they correct that right here with a 3-point finish to send Faith Lutheran into the showers in this one? Wybright, middle back, great serve. Mauga, scramble everywhere. That's going to be long. Oh, Gilmore plays it. Up to Openshaw. That's going to work. Didn't matter. 23-18.
Annie can probably hear us up there talking about playing the close ones.
Sorry.
She did. Great pass. Jess with a nice hit to kill it, get the point.
Yeah, Openshaw used the block to perfection there. Now we're at 23-18. Faith Lutheran has come up with plays before, make it set point. I'm sensing a 5th set coming here, 24-18 Thunder. Wybright trying to take it home here. And Amy Fisher gonna bring in a sub here. As back in the game, Tori Castro. Set point, Castro makes the pass. Mauga, Bunyan. And Bunyan gets the side out. System volleyball there.
Yeah, a little soft touch that kind of redirected that swing, made it a little tougher to dig.
Mauga back to serve, trying to keep the hopes in this set alive for Faith Lutheran. Wybright outside, Decker into the block, covered on the front row by Hale. Decker, same thing. They're going to try Openshaw. She'll tip. Covered on the front row. Bunyan tries the left-handed touch shot. Back row, could Gilmore finish it? No. Sweet at the net. Samantha Smith.
Yeah, good defense there by Faith Lutheran.
The lead is 4 as Melee Maga will try to keep it going. Gilmore, perfect pass. At the net, Hale gets rejected. Boy, the block has come alive here for Faith Lutheran. Backside Castro, up to Bunyan, twister off the block. So how far do we go before Craig Allred calls the timeout? 24-21.
Yeah, good call. I think he's got 2 left, so be a good time to take one.
There it is, right on cue, as a 24-18 score has seen 3 straight points by Faith Lutheran to make it 24-21. Coach Craig Allred from St. George's Desert Hills High School calls his team over.
Sometimes that last point to finish out a set is the toughest one to get because the other team's motivated. They don't want to lose, so they're giving that little bit extra. Desert Hills just needs to stay aggressive here. They're getting some good swings at it. Faith Lutheran is just doing a great job of being in the right spots, blocking, playing defense. We'll see what happens over these next couple points.
Well, and that block has really shown up over the last few points here for Faith Lutheran. And Desert Hills doing a good job of getting second looks after those blocks, but still you do it over and over and over again, and something's going to fall through for the point.
Yeah, I don't know if they've worked on it yet, but I'd love to see a misdirection type play where we have maybe like an X pattern where the blockers that have been keying on one player maybe get confused because they're going a different way.
I love the X. And Mauga trying to be the hero of the day here. She's already got 3 straight points from the service position. Spencer perfect up to Weybright. Backside, Openshaw stays in the air and a pancake. Nope, they're going to call it. So they take away that pancake move by Ford. And that's it, 25-21. Thunder send this to a 5th set.
Ooh, that's close. Looked like she might have got it, but.
You know, the sound told me that she might have got it.
But like I've mentioned, I'm not the official, so we'll go with what they say.
And we'll take a short break, come back for set number 5. Back in St. George, fifth set fun coming up here. One of the most enjoyable events in sports, that fifth set, where it comes down to 15 points. You work so hard to get here, tied up at 2, and now you decided 15 points. Every point seems a little bit more important in this fifth set. So let's have some fun and see who surfaces after this one. New libero for the Crusaders. Looks like Leah Hernandez will take over at libero for Ford. She'll get the first pass. Mauga goes backside. Bunyan, cross court, too long, into the back corner. And the Thunder get the first point here in the fifth set. Whybright gets set to serve. All tied up at 2 sets apiece. Faith Lutheran from Las Vegas. Desert Hills from here in St. George. Gilmore with a good pass. Decker unloads through the block, jams it down the chest of the blockers. 2-0. Right inside those arms. I guess there was an arm from Keys there, but could not stop that one. A little technique issue there if there is a reason for that. Tipped over. Nice one-arm stab. Beautiful. Let's see if the...
Good.
So they do. They pay it off. The good play gets paid off with an error by the Crusaders.
Yeah, keep that momentum on our side. Uncle Mo, we want him on our side.
And Amy Fisher says, you know, let's not let this is what happens in fifth sets. Quick timeouts. Runs are not allowed to go on very long here in the fifth set.
Yeah, we're only going to 15. Every point is even more critical.
So as a player, do you feel that more in the fifth set, or is it all just a blur of good volleyball?
Yeah, you know, you're human, so you kind of realize what's going on. You don't want to tighten up, but in your mind, you're like, okay, I've got to make this happen, where normally, like, I want to make this happen. You got to on that one.
Or the other side of that is, don't let me make the mistake.
Well, if
that's
you play,
not how athletes
yeah, if
do
you
it.
play like that, then the last thing in your mind is mistake. You're
Right.
going to make the mistake.
Right. Well, good answer. That's really a good answer. That's the difference between someone who's had a lot of success in sports and then an average guy in sports.
Yeah, I heard that somewhere. Maybe I Googled it.
Okay. So no copyrights on that line there. So 3-0. A quick timeout for Amy Fisher. Looks like she brought back in. Nope, Hernandez still out there. So that was not the issue in her mind. Bunyan trying to get the side out. Not this time on that swing. Back row, that'll be a side out on the tape check by Gilmore.
Yeah, good save there by Jayla. Good dig. Just happened to be right off of her arms. Good save by Jayla, trying to get it to the middle back to see if we can make something happen.
And Bunyan will try to tighten up the game. Cross court Whistler. Gilmore perfect. Quick. Decker to the floor. Hammer and nail time.
Yeah, good connection there. Perfect height, location on that set for Megan.
Look
to
at
take
that
it home.
area she's hitting to. Man, there was a player coming from the left, but that velocity kept anything from happening there. And the side out for Desert Hills as Openshaw loads up the serve. Mauga outside, and this time a block.
Yeah, good block again by Presley, getting her hands high above the net there, angling those hands back into the court, straight down.
Very good blocking technique. Openshaw back to serve. It's a 4-point lead in the 15-point game for the Thunder. Hernandez diving save. Push over the top. Not going to happen.
Good
right
read.
back at you, and I think Amy Fisher has to be close to another timeout.
Yeah, good read there by Megan, following the ball, knowing, hey, I don't know if anybody's there, but I'm going to go block this ball.
There it is. Nope, they're just checking on timeouts. Openshaw, it's just a conversation. Never mind. Mauga, backside. Wow, are the Thunder playing well here in the fifth set? What is that, G2G stuff? Is that what it is?
They must have had their G2G between
little bit of
sets.
Yeah, 7-1, all Thunder in the fifth set. Herm Ellenboss, Phil Spencer talking at you here on the YouTube channel. Looked like a foot fault there by Openshaw. On the outside, Keys, dugout, back row. Decker gets the perfect load. Wow, was that a good set, and Decker knew what to do with it. 8-1, there's the Amy Fisher timeout. This fifth set getting away from her.
Yeah, good response by Desert Hills there. If I'm Coach Allred, I'm telling my girls, hey, do not even look at the scoreboard. We are trying to win every point from here on out. I'll tell you when it's over. Just give me 100% every play.
You know, that has to be on every coach's mind at some point when they're coaching one of these games. But wow, that's so true. You do not want to say, oh, that's just one. Oh, that's just two. Because pretty soon it's 8-7, then it's 8-8 or something like that. So. And what a new gear that the Thunder have come out with here in the 5th set. Faith Lutheran needs a play or two here. You know, they switched liberos, but that has not been the issue at all. I mean, she has made every play coming at her. It's hard to be an Ellie Ford, but Hernandez is doing just fine. Openshaw gets set to try to take this to 9. Hernandez, a little bit of a pop up there. Back row attack. That catches the block and out of the timeout. Tori Castro gets the side out kill with a touch off the top of the defense.
Yeah, reaching just a little bit as a middle. We want to stay skinny as a middle so that we can play defense off of it. Just touched it right off her hand and over the top. Couldn't defend it.
Hernandez misses. 9-2. Just outside of the tape on the back line, and Sam Spencer will try to make this a double-digit score for the Thunder. Nice serve. Shank, but right there Mauga chasing it down. That's way out, and we got a 10-2 game. A 5th set meltdown so far for Faith Lutheran.
Yeah, there was a run in the previous game where Faith Lutheran was blocking everything and doing everything right, and now the tables have turned, and now Desert Hills is doing that to them.
So Spencer trying to keep the pain going. Mauga, middle, that's going to work. Keys gets the side out. Abby Keys straight to the floor. And back to serve Sarah Nigro for the Crusaders. She's going to swap out here. So we'll get a new server in. And her ponytail keeps me from reading her number.
Camden Cook in to serve.
Oh, good. I ran into her parents. Decker gets blocked. Beautiful play for Tori Castro. Castro does everything right on that block. On a power ball by Decker. And it's 10-4. Camden Cook shoots it to the backside, gets the ace, and here we go, chipping away at that lead. It's 10-5.
Yeah, for Desert Hills, I know it's tough to do. Try not to even worry about it next play.
Well, these are girls. I suppose the sympathy thing doesn't work at this level. Gilmore, Wybright, back to Gilmore. Can she deliver? No, she gets stuff blocked. And here comes Faith Lutheran, 10-6. Faith Lutheran executing. And there's that block again you were just talking about, Phil, that was so effective towards the end of that 4th set. Here's Cook, and a service error ends that run. That service run for Camden Cook. She is a sophomore setter. Presley Decker, 4 points away from knocking off Faith Lutheran. Mauga, great run to get to that one. Tipped over to Tori Castro. Outside, Gilmore, too long. That wasn't far off. And it's 11-6. And for the Desert Hills Thunder, matching points is fine at this point. It's those multiple points.
Yep.
Cook, right side. Spencer, a little bit of a misdirection. There's a perfect set to Gilmore. Faith Lutheran almost made that play, but Gilmore puts it down, 12-7. Faith Lutheran had a couple of shots, teamwork special, but not over the net. And Gilmore back to serve. Oops. Wow. Just missed, as Bob Uecker would say.
Just a bit outside.
Yeah. That might be a copyright line too, so we got to be careful here. Abby Keys back to serve. It's become a manageable comeback here for Faith Lutheran. Wybright, the quick, nice save on the knockdown there by Hedrick. Cook sweeps in. Mauga. Bunyan's back on the front row, and she delivers. Cameraman scrambling right in front of us.
Yeah, good swing there.
12-9. Here we go. You chip away and you think match points, but then all of a sudden they're just 3 down. What a great comeback for Faith Lutheran and Amy Fisher and her team. We'll see if they can keep it going here. 12-9. Back to serve. Abigail Keys. Shankopotamus for Annie Gilmore. And now it's 2. Well, for the kind of match it's been, this is exactly what we would have expected. That first run here to start out this 5th set was a little bit unexpected. But Amy Fisher has her team playing well, and it's only a 2-point 5th set. Don't go anywhere. You don't want to miss the finish on this one.
No, you don't. You know, all the momentum at the first of the game was on Desert Hills side. Then a couple good plays kind of made that Uncle Mo teeter what side he wanted to go to. Right now, squarely on the side of Faith Lutheran. I'd love to see a couple good plays here by Desert Hills to get that momentum back and take it home to get the first.
So what play do you call out of the timeout, you think? I mean, is Faith Hills loading up on something that they're seeing, or?
Yeah, I think they're becoming a little predictable with hitting the pins, and so I'd love to get a middle if we could, but you can only do that if the pass is there.
Well, they tried with Hedrick one time, and it came right back to her, but you're right, though. The pins, you know, if the block knows we got to go to the pins with that second blocker every time. Anyway, we'll quit talking. We'll just let the game tell itself here. Quit talking. I guess I'm not going to say that. Abigail Keys, middle back, Decker, overpass, another point. It's a 1-point game, and look at that celebration mode on Faith Lutheran. Every mistake you could make is happening now as far as plays not being made by the Thunder. Here's Keys. Can she tie it up after being down 10-2? Outside Openshaw. Yeah, there's the answer. As far as the Thunder are concerned, she took something off of it, dropped it into the donut hole, had a little coffee with it, 13-11. Big point here. Hedrick back to serve. Hale on the front line in the middle if they use Phil's plan there to go to the middle. Back row attack off the top of the hands of Decker, and then a misplay makes it a 1-point game again. Confusion on the front row, and Craig Allred not happy with that one.
Yeah, you really want Jess shoveling that ball over. It's not straight over her head. Jessica can kind of see what's happening coming from the side there. We always want that girl to take the ball instead of one that's shoveling it straight over her head.
Mauga for the tie. Decker, Wybright, Openshaw. And set point, match point opportunity for Desert Hills. Is Faith Lutheran done, or do they have another comeback in their tank? Wybright, middle back. Little floater job. That's going to be all the way back and almost through the hands of Spencer. Free ball, a little bit of a scramble for a match point. Here's Bunyan. Tip. Spencer reads it. Outside. Oh, Decker wasn't paying attention. Confusion, rather. I know Decker saw the ball, but she didn't know it was hers, and now we got a 14-13. Faith Lutheran fights off the first set point, match point. And Bunyan back to serve. She service aces the game. So congratulations to Craig Allred and staff as they knock off Faith Lutheran 15-13. Our final score. We'll be back this afternoon at 1:30 for the final match of the day against Pleasant Grove. Desert Hills versus Pleasant Grove. Coming up next, Pleasant Grove plays Marymount. That'll be a tough draw. And then at 12, Marymount against this same Faith Lutheran team. We saw a really good match here today, Phil.
Yeah, we did. Like you mentioned, we're going to be playing later today. Handful of other good games here coming up on the schedule. Plenty of time, though, to get to the store and get you your G2G protein bars.
And go to the jump place.
And go to the jump place, too, while you're at it.
You know, you got 4 hours if you're not going to watch the middle games, but we know everyone's going to be watching both of these games so that they can hear Phil and I come back at 1:30. In the first set, it was the Thunder 25-18. Faith won it in the second set. Biggest margin of the match, 25-15. Faith took the third set. Thunder the fourth, 25-21. And the exciting fifth set, as promised by yours truly. And the Thunder defend home court with a win. Thanks for joining us on YouTube. I'm Herm Ellenboss. For Phil Spencer, we'll talk to you at 1:30.